few weeks after my daughter died, a newspaper reporter came over to my house to interview me about the charity that I had started in her honor called Live Like Libby. She was there for well over an hour asking me all kinds of questions about Libby, about the organization, and I was smiling and sharing stories and talking, and anyone from the outside looking in would have looked at me and been like, holy shit, she's really dealing with this well. Like, her daughter just died. How can she handle so much grief? But here's the thing. As soon as that reporter walked out the door, I had a complete effing breakdown. I was sobbing hysterically. I had to hold on to my sofa so I didn't fall down. And I was just a gigantic hot mess, like you probably would have expected from someone who just lost a child. So today we're going to be talking about functioning, which is what I was doing during that interview, and grieving, which is what I was doing after the interview. And a lot of people kind of get them confused. They are definitely not the same thing. And one of the biggest things that I stress to people who are grieving is that your functioning level absolutely does not equal how much you are grieving. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Stay tuned. Functioning and grief are barely related. They are like distant cousins that hardly know each other. So functioning is how well you deal with the daily activities of life, like getting out of bed, getting dressed, making sure you're bathed and, looking okay, going to your job, paying your bills, buying your groceries, the everyday kind of stuff. And let's be honest, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee because this is a good help for functioning. So what are you drinking today? Does coffee help you function too? Let me know down in the comments what you're drinking while you're watching this, if anything.
What are you drinking?
While coffee can keep us functioning, it is not the same thing as grieving, which is how we are dealing and expressing our emotions because of our lost loved one. Grief is a whole different beast. It never takes a vacation. It is there with you 24/7. So for example, I am a very high functioning griever. Probably the number one comment that I get from people in real life and on the internet is, I don't know how you're doing it. How are you doing so well? You seem okay. You're laughing, you're joking. And I am always like, yes, because I am high functioning. I can get up, I can go to work every day, I can make these videos, but what you guys don't see, except for the few times that I choose to share it with you, are the times where I'm still having breakdowns. I'm absolutely still having that happen. I still have the times where I am curled up on my sofa watching Netflix because I don't have the energy to do anything else. And that is totally normal. So high functioning is like me, when you can go through your day, you compartmentalize your grief, you seem like you're okay, but you are always still grieving. I will never stop grieving for my daughter, ever. I am always going to be sad that she is not with me. I think about her 24/7. She is always on my mind, and I daily have hundreds of reminders of her. I don't feel like that's ever going away. But do I want to spend the rest of my life being absolutely miserable and not enjoying anything else? No, I don't. So I choose to get out of bed and to get dressed and put my makeup on and go to work and keep functioning. If you are a low functioning individual, that means that you are struggling with those everyday activities. And that is perfectly okay, especially if your grief is young and just happened and you're learning how to deal with it. Please do not feel bad if you are not a high functioning individual. Even if it's been a while since your loss, it's okay if you are still low functioning. You don't have to go out and create organizations and create a YouTube channel and speak on behalf of your loved one's cause, right? You don't have to do all those things. So don't put that effing pressure on yourself. Some people are just geared that way. I've been a teacher my whole life, so my instinct in my loss was to learn and become educated and then to help educate other people. But that is me. That is not you. Perhaps you are a quiet griever who has trouble getting out of bed in the mornings, who doesn't like talking in front of people. It's okay. Do you. There is no correct way to grieve. The only time that you really want to stop and pause is if it's been a long time since your loss and you are still unable to perform everyday kind of functions. I mean, taking a nap in the middle of the day is healthy, but not getting out of bed on more days than not, that is not healthy. So if you're to the point where you're struggling to eat and take care of yourself and take care of your family, if you have other children, then that is the point where you consider seeking help for your functioning level.
Okay, I think that I need help.
And then kind of on the flip side, if you are a high functioning griever like me, we need to be super careful to make sure that we take breaks for ourselves. And a lot of times we are just going and going and going and kind of using our functioning as a way to avoid our grief. I know I am guilty myself of this sometimes, and perhaps you are too, where you're just working and staying busy because it helps distract you and keep you from grieving. I have learned the hard way to make sure that I give myself chances to grieve. I actually set aside different times where I will watch old videos of my daughter and I will look at her pictures and I will think about my parents and the people that I've lost. And I will take time specifically to grieve. And I know I'm going to cry. All I have to do, in all honesty, is start singing the song that my daughter and I sang to each other every night. It's Good Night, My Angel by Billy Joel. I get a few words into that song and I am just sobbing. And that's normal and it's okay and it's good. I know that it's good and it's healthy. I don't avoid singing that song because there are times when I just need to get it the hell out. All of the grief builds up and I need that release, right? And that helps me process what I'm going through. So if you're a high griever, again, just to reiterate, set aside those times. Make sure that you are giving yourself time to experience your grief and to really feel it. Grief, and especially functioning in grief, is like a crazy roller coaster from hell that you really don't want to be on. So you might be high functioning one day and low functioning the next. And again, that is completely normal. There is an author called Elizabeth Kupferman, and I love her book. She talks about functioning as the staircase of F my life, okay? I'd say it, but I don't want YouTube to hit me with the profanity thing. So the staircase of F my life is the perfect explanation for functioning. You sometimes are going up and you feel like you're doing okay and your functioning is all right. And then something happens and boom, you are down at the bottom of the staircase, you tumble down, and then you have to start climbing up again. So it is never really a straight line where you just start functioning better and better and better. You could be functioning high one day and then you're freaking crying in your bathrobe watching Netflix all day the next. And that is totally normal. That's how I am. I, again, have days where I am functioning on all cylinders and other days where I really don't want to move and I just sit on my couch crying and I watch Netflix. So don't expect it to be a gradual process of functioning, and don't be afraid if there are days when you feel like you can barely function at all versus days when you feel like, oh, okay, I can make it through the day, I'm doing all right. And then sometimes you'll have the days where you're super productive and like, holy crap, I was okay today. All of them are good. All of them are normal. So again, whether you are high or low functioning, it is okay. There is no correct way to grieve. You do your own thing. However, if you are part of that low functioning group where you feel like your functioning is to a level where it's not healthy, please make sure you seek help. I have tons of resources on my webpage that can help you with your grief. I also do offer one-on-one grief coaching. If you are interested in that, there's always a link in my description, and there's always links to my newsletter where I send out just kind of helpful grief information once a month so I don't spam you like crazy. So those are ways that I can help you. But you can also on my webpage find resources to find local grief support in your area if you want to talk to someone in person one-on-one, which is always a big help too. There is never, ever, ever any shame in seeking help for your grief. Sometimes it's the only thing we can do. I did it after my daughter died, so do not be ashamed. Find the help if you need it. Grief is tough, and sometimes we just need a hand to pull us through. But we can do it, and it can get better, even though it seems up and down and all around and freaking crazy at times. The more you work through that functioning and work through those griefy feelings, the better it can get. Just keep moving forward, one day at a time. If you found this video helpful, I share content like this all the time, hopefully helping people with their grief or offering tips to people who are trying to support someone who's grieving. So please subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content. And if you're already subscribed, I would love it if you could like the video and leave a comment, because that helps the algorithm so that I can reach more people that need help with their grief. Until next time, there are some videos linked that YouTube thinks would be appropriate and helpful for you, so you can go ahead and watch those, and I will see you there. Sending love and hugs as always, guys.